All right, guys, we are here for Week 1 North Texas press conference with Offensive Coordinator Quarterbacks Coach Jake Spavital. We'll go ahead and start with questions, and as you know, go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and we'll go from there. We'll start with Jeff Ferrato from Cal Sports Report.
Jake, when you're playing in hot weather, you have to play more offensive linemen. Is this really going to test the evolution of that group you have?
Yeah, you're gonna have to play a lot of different bodies in all positions, to be honest with you, and we're ready for that. I think Coach Blesh has done a really good job with the O-line, and we've had many conversations throughout fall camp on just the rotations needed and just trying to keep those guys as fresh as possible because it is a different type of heat. Just being in it the last 4 years, like I've always said this kind of story about when I was at Texas State. I had my director of football operations. She was sitting on the sidelines watching a scrimmage, and her flip-flop melted to the turf. And that's how hot it's going to be. And we need to play a lot of different bodies. So we've got a pretty good plan on rotating probably about 8, 9, 10 offensive linemen. And we could be doing that mid-drive if it's one of those longer drives as well. But the same thing with receivers. We got to play. Everybody's got to come out there and play because this heat and the tempo we play with, we're going to need everybody.
So no flip-flops.
No flip-flops needed for this game.
We'll go to Steve Croner from the SF Chronicle.
Yeah, Jake, kind of following up on that. You mentioned receivers and offensive linemen, obviously. Didn't mention quarterback as being somebody who's gonna be subbed. So do we assume if things go well that Sam will get all the snaps? And kind of further in that, has he shown any growth in the few practices since he was named the starter?
Yeah, Sam's the guy, and we're going in with the intentions of him taking all the snaps. But the other two, with Ben Finley and Fernando Mendoza, will be ready. If anything would happen during the game. But I think Sam overall has he's a developmental guy. He's still a young player, has not started college football, and these practices every day is very important for the development and the growth of him. And, it's just about learning how to practice, just the consistency of what you're trying to do. And, we're staying on him on a daily basis, but he has shown growth over these last few practices. I think he's just getting more and more comfortable with the game plan. And I think a lot of that has to do with taking a lot more reps, over the last few days. So, his growth and development needs to continue on a daily basis. I'm saying from week by week and day by day. And rather going into this game, Sam's going to be the guy to hopefully take all the snaps.
Next question will go to Thomas Dunn from Riper, California.
Good morning, Jake. The 3-3-5 defense has given Cal some fits in the past. How crucial will it be to get both Jade Knott going and the short passing game going just to get Sam comfortable?
Yeah, I think that's very important. Jay Ott has played. Obviously, he's got a year under his belt and he's playing at a high level, and we definitely need to get him some touches. And I think that can help put Sam at ease a little bit. I don't know how Sam's going to handle the elements and being in his first career start, but we've got some good players around him that we can kind of take the heat off him. So, what was the other question you asked?
How crucial it will be to also get the short passing game going in the same vein.
Yeah, and that's all about kind of easy completions, and this 3-3-5 defense that you're talking about, just being the first game of the season, we've had a lot more reps at it because you go up against Sermon every single day and it's a 4-down front. But just being the first game of the season, I've added a few more practices to get ahead on North Texas and try to get as many simple like completions and just kind of efficiency type plays and more looks and more reps at the 3-3-5. And it's important for us to get that run game established, but also have high efficient completions on the perimeter.
All right, we'll go to Jake Curtis from Cal Sports Report.
Yeah, are all three quarterbacks going to be going to Texas, and who would play in the event of Sam getting hurt or whatever?
Yeah, all three are going. Coach and I are going to decide on that. Probably it's going to be a game time decision. They're under a strict evaluation every single day on how they're handling the two reps. With any scenario that we throw them in, we've been doing some good on good action that we're throwing them in as well. Just mistakes that are being made in practice. we're just kind of always going to leave that up as an open competition right now, to just see who's going to continue to grow and develop as well, and who's going to be the one that goes in. So that's going to be more of a discussion between Coach and I as the week goes on. It could be a scenario you play them both. You never know, but we're hoping to just figure out who's going to be the first one in.
All right, we'll circle back to Steve Croner from the SF Chronicle.
Jake, I think people obviously, Cal fans know of Jeremiah Hunter and they know of Jaden Knott, and they're now aware of Sam Jackson. Who's a playmaker or two about whom Cal fans are not really aware right now, who maybe by the end of September they will be aware?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say Brian Hightower and Tron Grizel. Those guys have played at a really high level, at the receiver position. You could also throw Taj Davis and Marquise Montgomery in there as well. Those four guys, really the kind of the six receivers that we're talking about right now, and then throw Maven Anderson in there as well, which you guys are familiar with. Those seven have had a pretty good fall camp. But if you had to pick out of those guys, I'd say Brian Hightower and Tron Grizel. You got to talk about Jack Indries, our tight end. He's an athletic tight end that can do it all. You're going to see a lot of significant playing time with him as well. And then I would also say Ashton Stredick has had a really good fall camp at the backup running back position. So you're going to see him get a lot of quality touches. So really pleased with that group of kids that I just announced right there, playing at a high level, and they've got a good approach to themselves. It's all about we're a relatively new team, new scheme, new offensive staff, everything, and the development and the growth and the reps are needed every single day, every single week. And these kids had a great practice today, and I'm looking forward to do it again tomorrow.
And we'll go over to Matt Moreno from Rivals.
You talked about Sam obviously making his first start and maybe a little bit of an unknown there and how he reacts. Are there any other kind of unknowns that you're going to be looking at or maybe intrigued by as you go into this first game on your side of the ball?
Yeah, it's all about Sam. And we put a lot of freedom on that quarterback, and we've got to make sure we got him in a comfortable spot. But it's just also about kind of that group of guys I just announced, the receivers and the running backs, just kind of see how they handle the elements as well. Because, I know Coach have probably said to you guys, and we've had 50 new guys on roster, this for this fall camp, and from last season. So there's still competitions going. There's going to be a lot of people playing, and I just want to see somebody kind of separate themselves and play consistently and make some plays, and hopefully you can build on that going into week 2 and then week 3 and week 4 and so forth. So, a lot of unknowns. That's what the beauty of the game one is.
We'll go back to Jeff Ferraro from Cal Sports Report.
Jake, both on the staff and on the roster, there's a lot of Texas guys on your team. How do you expect that impact Saturday in terms of those guys being excited to be back home playing in front of folks, and maybe what kind of support you might have?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a good showing. When I first got here, I didn't know that there was going to be that many Texas kids on our roster. But I think those guys are excited to get there, excited to be running around. Everything good. Everything's like they're excited to be back to Texas, playing in front of their family, and I think they're going to have a good showing. I think a lot of those kids I've talked to, they've got 10, 15 tickets, that they're looking for, and then trying to make sure that their families are settled in. So I think there's going to be a pretty good showing to Cal fans and players' families when we get to this game on Saturday.
We'll go back to Thomas Dunn from Right for California.
You mentioned Jack Indries as someone who is on the rise from fall camp. What do you see as his biggest strengths and how he's going to elevate the tight end group as a whole after they struggled last season?
Yeah, Jack can do it all. He can attach to the box and add, a demeanor and a detention in the run game, but he's also athletic enough that he can split him out in 4 wide sets, and he can move this guy all over the field. So, this is going to be his first career start too. So this is going to be an opportunity for us to see what he's capable of doing in a live setting, and just see how he handles those elements as well. So really, you start looking at a lot of these offensive guys. Some of them are in their first career starts, and we got to kind of see how they handle the elements and get them in a comfortable position. But our tight ends position is kind of where everything kind of stems from. I think that is kind of the name of the game. You look at the Travis Kelce's and the Rob Gronkowski's and the George Kittles of the world, like those offenses are very dynamic. And Jack has the potential for us to be a very multiple offense if he stays consistent and keeps doing what he's doing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Coach Spavital today? All right, guys, that'll wrap it up.